the channel for another video, and in today's video we're in the car again, and a lot of warmer days are ahead of us, so gonna be a lot more of that. So there's a newer gas station, Sheets, that just literally opened up to so the way that my neighborhood's set up, they expanded the road a lot and they put 2 stoplights in, so literally 2 stoplights up from my house there's a Sheets, and I can drive by and go get some 93 for the car, and we'll talk about what this video is going to entail once I'm able to cross the road. So basically in this video I'm just going to go over a couple things that you can upgrade on your car, but you can spend a little extra money and go ahead and upgrade to the better version of that instead of the factory stuff or just an aftermarket, but that would fit only in the GT or V6, I guess. So that first part in this video for this car will be the shifter. So this obviously doesn't apply to anybody that has an automatic, but if you have a manual car and you want to kind of like get rid of the little slot play and the horrible stock shifter, you can always do that. And you can definitely upgrade to, I don't know if American Muscle still has their budget, but like American Muscle and LMR, I imagine have like their in-house brand that's probably made by probably Skida or something like that. And it's, it's not super expensive, but I would just go ahead and spend the extra money and upgrade to basically just getting that better version. So I've had in the past in this car with the multiple different transmissions that I've used, from the T45, the 3650, and now the current T56. I've had a Skida. The Skida was pretty good. I've had a Pro 5, or I think it's a Pro Shifter 5.0 or Pro 5.0 shifter. It's a little notchy, but it's pretty good for the money. So those two are kind of like in the same realm of like $190, I believe. But I have the MGW, which is probably the best shifter for the new Edge Mustang, in my opinion. They have, I think, 3 different variants of the shifter handle. You can go with the Comfort, the Race, and then the Standard. I currently run the Standard, but the good thing about it is you can kind of lower the shifter a little bit, the handle, and raise it a little bit. So, there's no reason to, I guess, unless you're drag racing or something, or, I don't know, the Comfort, I guess if you're taking this car on a long trip. But to me, a shifter is a shifter, handle-wise. But I totally recommend an MGW shifter. They're definitely the best on the market, in my opinion, and by far, they're right around the $200 mark. So spending, 10 to 15 extra dollars on a shifter, they make them for the T45 and the T3650. So that is something I would definitely upgrade to. It's going to make the car feel a lot better. It's going to drive better, put it that way. The next thing on the list is something that you can do for both automatic and manual. A lot of people, what they will do for these cars is they will, when it's time to upgrade the brakes, right? People will go, American Muscle, LMR again, or whatever website, you order your brakes from, your Mustang parts from. People look for like aftermarket kits, and this is a little more on the expensive side, but you have plenty of options. And LMR actually has a kit that has the 0304 Cobra front brakes upgrade. So instead of like, I think it's 11-inch rotor, it goes to a 13, and I have that on this as well. I was able to pick up the OEM equipment from O'Reilly's Auto Parts, actually. So all I did was, it was a little cheaper, maybe like, say like 40 or 50 bucks at the time, versus like the LMR kit. The LMR kit, I think you have the calipers or whatever can come in red or black. I didn't really care about that. But what I did was basically find the OEM part number for, the Cobra brakes or whatever, and just typed it in, and they had like the reman, and I think you had the option where you could buy them brand new. I bought them brand new. But yeah, that was, something that definitely helps out like the everyday driver for these cars. So that is something, if you're looking into replacing or upgrading the brakes or whatever, that's what I would do. Spend a little extra money, have the Cobra brakes. They actually do help out stopping the car, and they look better. But the one thing that I will say, I don't think you can run, if you're like on the factory wheels, I don't think you can run that is something that I would definitely look into upgrading, because let's be honest, it looks better and it, you know, performs better, I guess, because you stop quicker. And another thing that's always time, you know, during especially tax season, is tires. You know, a lot of people, when they get a Mustang, like the new Edges and all that, the 94 to 04, they've probably been basically molested to the point to where, like, everything has been done to it, from exhaust to, like, maybe replacing gears, a colder intake of some sort or something like that. But a lot of people get these cars from previous owners. They're lowered on just, you know, either they'll take, like, the factory spring out, cut the coil off, and put it back on and slam the car, or they'll basically just buy, like, a set of, like, H&R, SR Performance, if they're still around, or, like, I-block springs, lower the car and not replace the struts or shocks, or like a bump steer kit, or even caster campers. I've seen that so many times. So basically, if you're going to lower the car, or if you're going to buy a Mustang and it's already lowered, you're going to have to spend a little extra money, obviously fixing some issues, because I doubt the person probably did it right, just from my experience. But it's going to chew up tires. So if you're going to do all that, I would also invest in some pretty good tires. Sumitomo's was, like, I guess, like a budget tire. I have the Nittos, the triple T5s on here. I know a lot of people go with the Toyos as well. Never had the Toyos. The Nittos have always worked out for me. But I'm also never driving this car in the snow or the rain, really, whatsoever. So that is something to definitely look into as well. So, like, you know, upgrading, lowering the car, because you want to get rid of that 4x4 stance that came, you know, from the factory. These cars, if it's not lowered at all, you know, definitely fix that issue. But if it's also not lowered, you know, you probably lucked out, because somebody just didn't go in there and, you know, cut the springs, or buy, like, I guess, lowering springs, and just not do anything else for the car to at least ride a little more decent. But let's be honest, these cars are older, you know, it's just basically a Fox body suspension that's been upgraded. These things are not going to ride, like, super comfortable or smooth. Yeah, that's just some things that you can do. Basic stuff, you can upgrade and all that. In the last video, we talked about the exhaust. The exhaust is something that you guys can do. So these are just ideas. Definitely, like, there's websites like DNA High Performance. DNA Performance is a good place to check stuff out. If you are a member of certain channels, you'll know that name. So it's definitely a good place to hit up and contact about parts. Or you can just go to your typical wheelhouse like LMR or American Muscle and just get stuff from there. So, you know, always support the smaller guys, because if they can, you know, get the price and you pay a little more, but, you know, also you have LMR and stuff like that, so they probably have your needs as well. So those are just some ideas. The shifter, definitely the brake kit, tires, don't cheap out on tires either. And if you're going to lower the Mustang, at least do it right. You know, don't just cut the spring and not fix anything and then complain about, you know, your car showing through tires. So bumps to your kit, passenger camber plates, it gets a little expensive, but, you know, it's tax season returns, so I'm sure there's somebody out there willing to take your money and cut you a good deal. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this video. I appreciate every single one of you stopping by. We're going to make a video soon about the MBRP exhaust and some exhaust clips and seeing how it sounds compared to the current Borla on this car.